we're joined by the one and only Sheen from Ingested, the founding member and one of the driving force behind nearly 2 decades of brutality.
With Denigration, it was more back to business, if you will. It was a throwback to what we were like as when we started in our early years, just like kind of really heavy grooves and all that kind of thing, and faster blast beats and stuff. We wanted that aggression back, that kind of danger. Honestly, with Denigration, it was selfishly for ourselves, and we wanted to write songs that we want to play live consistently, just that heavy groove. So it truly was a passion project. I'm busy headbanging rather than looking at what people are doing in the pit.
Thanks. Hey everyone, this is Faisal from Al-Ma'adin, and today we're joined by the one and only Sheen from Ingested, the founding member, guitarist and vocalist, and one of the driving force behind nearly 2 decades of brutality. So we're gonna dive deep into the new album that got out last week, Denigration, the evolution of Ingested, the pressure of rebuilding a brand while keeping the identity intact, and what keeps extreme music dangerous after all this year. So let's get to it. So my first question, thank you. My first question, Sean, is that a lot of bands talk about evolution, but Denigration genuinely feels like Ingested entering a different era instead of just dropping another heavy record. At what point did you realize this album was becoming something bigger than the continuation of Ashes Lie Still?
Well, I see Ashes Lie Still and The Tides of Death and Fractured Dreams as like a pairing, like a twin. Just because on those two albums, we kind of started exploring different ideas. A lot of melody was put in there, like a darker tone was there. There's some clean vocals, etc. That happens when a band's been going for as long as we have. We're 2 decades in now, and so you almost want to kind of spread your wings creatively at certain points. But with Denigration, it was more back to business, if you will. It was kind of a throwback to what we were like as when we started in our early years, just like kind of really heavy grooves and all that kind of thing, and kind of faster blast beats and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it was on purpose that we took this decision, and obviously we've got new members involved. So yeah, it was really fun to do.
Oh, thanks so much for sharing that. And you've been carrying Ingested since 2006, and like 20 years later. What's actually harder now? Is it staying like brutal, staying heavy, or staying creatively dangerous?
Well, like I said before, like you do tend to find yourself trying to find different like ways to be creative. I mean, like I said, Tide of Death was a little, even adding clean vocals and just melodic sections. I don't know, man. It's because it's such a long time, and obviously I'm one of the primary songwriters. You do try and find different ways to entertain yourself creatively, but like I said, Denigration was more of just a back to business type thing, and we wanted that aggression back, that kind of danger is like you said before. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, 2 decades, what keeps you going? Just a passion for it and just exploring music, I guess.
Oh yeah, so talking about passion, do you still feel the same hunger you had during surpassing the boundaries of human suffering?
I'd be lying if I said yes, because so many things have changed over those years. Back in the day when you're 19, 20, it's all about just wanting to get drunk and play death metal and just hang around with your mates, just have a laugh, where there was no really clear mind of how a band should operate in terms of professionally. And obviously over the years, we've become a professional band, and ultimately it's become a business. So there's a lot of business aspect that comes involved with Ingested with me. Obviously, I'm an owner of the business, and the business has to make money so I can pay my bills. So the passion still exists, but obviously as a nearly 40-year-old man, there is an underlining of a job. So, yeah.
And we're talking about evolution with Andrew and Thomas now stepping into major vocals and creative roles. The chemistry of the band feels very different, like on this new record. What did they unlock creatively that maybe wasn't there before?
Well, with Andrew, his technical ability is far superior to mine. So if there's any a solo section or a shredding section that needs to be put in there, he can pull it out of the bag immediately. And obviously, he's got his chops with the Faceless and his other band Interloper. So he's a true talent. And also with Interloper, he's a frontman, vocalist, and guitarist. So like he's got wealth of knowledge in terms of vocal lines, hooks, ideas, song structures, guitar lines. Yeah, he's a technical pro, if you will.
Oh. And now digging more into Denigration. So the album's concept, it's like being reduced to your ugliest version and deciding whether to collapse or weaponize it. Feels a little bit personal underneath all of that brutality. Where did that mindset come from you personally?
Well, I contributed 3 or 4 tracks lyrically. Lynn did 2 tracks. Drew did 2 tracks. Our previous vocalist did a few tracks. So everyone's reaching or pulling from something personal to them. So I couldn't really comment on everyone else's ideas that they threw into it because it's from their personal perspective. But as I've said before in many interviews, you know, there is that underlining kind of I don't know, self-reflection, self-loathing kind of thing going on with all of our lyrics, really, and sort of a pull back yourself. You know,
Yeah.
what does it mean to be in a band, or what's going on in society? So, with all that that said, when a listener or one of our fans actually sits down and reads the lyrics, they can take a meaning from it. Which might not, say if I wrote a certain line, they're going to take something different from it because none of us really quite put it on the nose exactly what it means because it can be interpreted in different ways, and I think that's something interesting for the listener.
Yeah, fair. And don't you think that music hits harder when it comes from honesty instead of just pure aggression?
Yeah, I mean, look, listen, bands go through certain periods where maybe you are writing certain style of music to try and please a fan base, and I know we've been guilty of it in the past, but honestly, with Denigration, it was selfishly for ourselves, and we wanted to write songs that we want to play live consistently, just that heavy groove. So it truly was a passion project for us all.
And talking about the musical aspect of Denigration, the albums pulls together like a huge mix of slam, groove, blackened texture, melodies, and it almost sounds like every era of Ingested like colliding together. Did you approach this
Yeah.
album as the definitive statement of what the band is capable of?
I think, like you took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things from all the albums that we've done because we've always kind of like added an extra tool to the toolbox, if you will, just trying new ideas and extra flavors, etc. But yeah, you're right. Obviously, the intent with this album was to keep it heavy and aggressive, but ultimately, those previous elements will creep in, so you're still going to get that, that Ingested sort of mark stamp. Do you know what I mean? Like that's been stamped on it. So, and obviously with the new members, they're bringing their own little ideas as well. So, yeah, it's a cool collection of songs, man.
And which song do you think best represents where Injustice is gonna be heading next? We can find like some hint on Denigration. Yeah, some hint on Denigration. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe Merciless Reflection or Beaten Beyond the Veil. Maybe that kind of deal. Yeah, really slabby aside with just some groove elements. It's something we're really excited to do. And obviously, we've been playing some of the songs live recently. We've been playing Merciless Reflection specifically, and it's a really fun song to play live, man. And I really want to try and encapsulate that kind of that feel again moving forward.
And also, like something that I really liked is like the guest features on the new record. So having people like John Gallagher, like members from PeelingFlesh, Body Snatchers, kind of again gives another vibe to Denigration as it's a symbolic album. Almost feels like different generation of brutality, literally like playing together. How important do you think were those collaborations for this record?
Well, like you said, it's like a collection of different areas of brutality, and there's always been times down the road when people are trying to pigeonhole what we are because we can fall into the death metal category, deathcore category, and I guess a term I've grown fondly of is just modern death metal. I guess that's kind of where we sit. But you're right. Bringing your friends and your peers onto a record is always a great privilege. And luckily, we know all the people that we involve with that with Ingested because we've been touring for so long. So yeah, it's a great plus getting your friend on board to do just add their flavor and give the album something else.
Yeah. And also having friends with you on the record, like, don't you think that a little bit competitive and push you to be the best version of yourself on the studio?
Well, I mean, yeah, when you're getting talents like John Gallagher involved, I mean,
Yeah.
his talent speaks for itself, vocally and guitar wise. So fresh as arms, you know. I mean, I kind of picked a spot for him where and a song that he would resonate with more. And I think I got it right.
Yeah, definitely. So, talking about live performances, you guys has built like quite a reputation as one of the most punishing live bands in extreme music, and I was like, my experience with Ingested, like honestly, it was one of the rare times that I couldn't take pictures at a show.
Yeah.
Literally, like I didn't have the energy. All my energy was more focused on headbanging and moshing with the with the crowd. And which denigration songs do you think are the most excited or maybe the most nervous to unleash live?
Well, we're playing three at the moment. We're
Okay.
playing Merciless Reflection, Oaths Betrayed, and Watch You Fold with the John Gallagher features. So maybe we'll start bringing some extra ones in there, but we'll see. I don't know, man. I mean, there's a couple of solo sections that Drew's got to play live, which might be intimidating for him, but we'll see.
And what is, for example, like the most out of control crowd moment you've witnessed, like in an Ingested show?
Jesus, you're making me pull from 20 years of touring here.
Yeah.
Uh, have we? I think we. Do we have a show? I think we had a show stop once.
Oh,
We've had a few show stops from like injuries and stuff. So I mean, I guess those would be the most wildest moments because it throws you into complete, confusion and like what to do next, like pausing the set and having to find the yourself again. But yeah, I
yeah.
mean, we like people to have fun at our shows. It sucks when someone gets injured and a show needs to be stopped. But yeah, man, just the shows like that, man. They're always a privilege.
And is there, like, for example, a moment like in any of the breakdowns that you play that your mind will be, I know security is gonna hate those breakdowns? Is there any specific song in that?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a stop. There's like a sharp stop bit in Merciless Reflections before D from PeelingFlesh comes in, and that's probably the heaviest part for me of the set. So I'm busy headbanging rather than looking at what people are doing in the pit. But I'm just hoping that they're taking it as I hope they're taking it to like really get them moving in the pit and stuff.
Yeah, fair. And let's talk a little bit about the evolution of deathcore. Since you lived through multiple era of deathcore, from the underground MySpace all the ways to right now, the genre like becoming massive.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on where heavy music is now compared to when Ingested first started back in 2006, 2007?
Yeah, well, deathcore was a dirty word back then. Especially, I mean, we weren't really listening to deathcore back then, but bands like Despise Icon and Whitechapel started to turn our heads in Ingested camp because we were really obsessed with brutal death metal at the time. But bands like Whitechapel, Can Effects, Despise Icon, Joffrey Cowboy, Iron Dissonance, that kind of era of bands kind of changed our opinions a little bit, and it kind of started seeping into our influences a little bit. But
Mhm.
yeah, every genre of music has its circle moment, if you will, and deathcore, I guess, is having one of those times. You're getting unprecedented things like Lorna Shaw, like selling 3,000 cap rooms and above, which is just staggering. Like that, I mean, that shouldn't be happening, really. But I know it's good for the genre. It gets people's eyes on it. So hopefully, bands like Lorna can bring guys to smaller bands like ourselves or whoever, So yeah, it's all
And
good, man.
yeah, and I'm honestly glad that you guys survived trends that either killed bands or got them to turn too soft,
This is
too
it. I
commercial.
think the thing that's kept us going. I think like I said before, we've always tread that line in between death metal and deathcore. So you,
Yeah,
we've been able to navigate. I think that's part of our longevity, to be honest.
fair. And one thing that metal or any genre of extreme music has is that it demands a lot mentally and physically over time. So how do you separate yourself from the darkness you channel creatively?
Well, I've got a family. I'm married. I've got kids. I've got other things to focus on at home. I've got responsibilities, so I can't get too involved in the moodiness that writing music is. And to be honest, writing death metal is not. It's not really a big moody thing. Maybe when I'm writing lyrics, sometimes I'll tap into places that I'm not happy about. But I don't have to write too many lyrics. So luckily, my headspace is always the band and then family. So I can separate things pretty easily, and I don't let it get on top of me too much.
Hey, thank you so much for sharing that. And let's say 10 years from now, if someone listening to Denigration, what do you hope they understand about where Ingested was mentally and creatively in 2026?
It's be tough because I'll be nearly 50 by that point. So, like, I have no idea where I'm going to be at that time. I don't even know if the band's going to be a band still. But I just hope whatever happens in the future, when the time comes and Ingested is no more, that we've done enough to cement some sort of legacy, some sort of respect in that respect. So I'm hoping that that's there for the fans down the road. I hope people still discover us, etc. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I just hope people continue to go back to the music over and over into that older age, if you will. So we'll see.
Yeah, I feel that Denigration would be that rock by then, right?
I mean, possibly, yeah. Like fucking AC/DC.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sean, for hanging out with us. And make sure,
No
guys,
problem,
to
man.
check out Denigration. Is already out May 8th, so last week. Support the band, hit the tours, grab the merch, so you know what you have to do, and keep supporting heavy music worldwide. Stay heavy. And Sean, do you have anything else you want to add?
Just thank you for supporting us. Thank you for coming along for the ride, and for everyone who's been here for 20 years. We respect it and we love you.
Yeah. And we'll catch you on the bit. Stay heavy. Thank you.
Take care.